ESG jobs have absolutely exploded, growing over 200% in just the last 5 years. It's one of the fastest growing fields out there. But with that kind of boom comes a really big shift in what's expected of you. So today, we're going to break down which certifications will actually get you hired in a field that now demands hard proof of your skills, not just your passion.
All right, let's just get right to the heart of it. For years, being passionate about sustainability was your ticket in. It got your foot in the door. But as this whole field has professionalized and the stakes have gotten so much higher, well, what employers expect from you has matured too. So the big question we have to ask is, in 2026, is that passion still enough to land the job? And this slide just lays it out perfectly. I mean, 5 years ago, ESG was often a marketing thing, right? Full of these feel-good claims that were, nice to have. But fast forward to today, it's all driven by strict global regulations. Companies now need audit-ready, verifiable proof. Sustainability isn't some side project anymore. It's a core business capability. So here's the bottom line. In this new, high-stakes world, employers need proof you can do the work. Your passion? That's just assumed. It's competence that gets you hired. They need people with the technical skills to measure, to manage, and to report on sustainability in a way that can stand up to some serious scrutiny from regulators, investors, and even their own board. And that's exactly why certifications have suddenly become so critical. In a really crowded market, they're the clearest signal that you are competent. They're like a trusted shorthand for employers that proves you've got the technical rigor you need to handle the complex ESG challenges of today. Just look at how the jobs themselves have changed. We've moved so far past ESG being this little siloed function tucked away in the corporate social responsibility department. Today, the work is driven by these unavoidable global mandates. And looking ahead, it is becoming completely baked into the core of corporate strategy and, this is the most important part, finance. And we're not talking about some vague trend here. This is a tidal wave of specific regulations. Things like the EU's Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, or CSRD, which forces thousands of companies to do detailed public disclosures. It's not optional. And new standards from the International Sustainability Standards Board, the ISSB, are setting a global baseline for reporting. So employers are urgently looking for people who are fluent in this new language of compliance. This quote really just nails it. With hundreds of different courses and certificates popping up, the market has kind of done the hard work for us and consolidated. A select few have risen to the top as the definitive, trusted proof of expertise that hiring managers and boardrooms actually rely on. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Let's look at the specific certifications that are showing up on hiring shortlists again and again. These are the credentials that have become the undisputed gold standard in the industry. We're talking about roughly 10 core globally recognized certifications and specialty areas that have really risen above the noise. This isn't a list of every single course you can take, not at all. It's the focus group that global employers have collectively decided to put their trust in. Now, what's so interesting here is how these top-tier credentials map directly to real business functions. You can see the logic, right? If you're in reporting and communications, GRI is the standard. If you're in finance and strategy, you're looking at the SOSB FSA credential or the CFA's ESG certificate. For operations folks, it's ISSB. And for anyone in the built environment, of course, it's LEED. Let's just zoom in on GRI for a second. It is still absolutely essential because it provides the universal language for sustainability reporting. And now, with the EU's powerful new CSRD framework aligning so closely with GRI standards, knowing it is pretty much non-negotiable for any company with global operations. The SASB credential, though, is so valuable because it hits on the single biggest talent gap in ESG right now, connecting all these sustainability impacts to the bottom line. It proves you can speak the language of the CFO, the language of investor relations. It proves you can link ESG data to financial risk, opportunity, and what a company is actually worth. And then beyond those core ones, we're seeing this huge surge in demand for deep, technical specializations. I mean, employers are now actively hunting for experts in things like greenhouse gas accounting, life cycle assessments for products, and even biodiversity risk reporting that aligns with new frameworks like the Task Force on Nature-Related Financial Disclosures, or TNFD. These niche skills are becoming massive differentiators. So, with all these different credentials out there, from these broad frameworks to the super deep specializations, how do employers figure out which ones actually matter? Well, it turns out they have this sort of mental checklist they run through when they see a certification on your resume.
Let's break that down. A truly valuable certification has 5 key things going for it. First, does it align with the global frameworks that matter, like ISSB or GRI? Second, does it prove rigor? I'm talking proctored exams, case studies, not just a certificate for showing up. Third, does it prove you have a hard technical skill, like auditing or financial modeling? Fourth, is it recognized globally? And finally, number 5, does it teach you how to actually do the work, not just talk about it? And this is exactly why the market has settled on just a select few. Employers can now easily tell the difference between a real signal of capability, like a certification from GRI or the CFA Institute, and all the noise from generic ESG awareness courses that don't require any proof that you've actually learned a single thing. So let's make this really practical for you. How do you take all this information and turn it into an actual strategy for your own career? How do you make the smartest investment? This table here is a pretty clear roadmap. Just find your professional background on the left, and you'll see the credential that employers in that specific field really value. So if you're in finance, they're looking for CFA, ESG, or SASB. If you're an engineer, lead is your best bet. The strategy here is to build on the strengths you already have, not start over from scratch. Look, if there's one single thing to take away from all this, it's this. Employers are not hiring for general awareness anymore. In 2026, real credibility in this field comes from specialized, provable, technical mastery. It is all about demonstrating your depth. And this whole trend is just picking up speed. There are 3 massive global shifts that are fueling this breakout moment for ESG careers right now. 1, regulatory pressure is now completely unavoidable. 2, climate finance has gone fully mainstream. And 3, ESG roles have broken out of their little silo to become these critical cross-functional positions. So the most important thing is to really reframe how you think about these certifications. They are not just a way to signal your interest or your passion anymore. They are strategic investments in your career. Investments that prove you are ready to operate and to lead in this new high-stakes era of corporate accountability. Which really just leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question. We are walking into the strongest, most dynamic, most opportunity-rich decade the sustainability field has ever seen. The real question is, how are you going to prove you're ready for it?